Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going over my MLB Prizepicks plays for Sunday. It is also Father's Day, so I want to wish Happy Father's Day to my dad and to all the other dads out there. Hope you guys have a great day today. If you're playing some sports betting or DFS, hope you make some money today. I'm going to give you guys 4 props that I like for Prizepicks. Yesterday went 2 and 2. Of course, the one time I take a hitter prop, he ends up not being in the lineup for Rhys Hoskins. But the under K's hit for Alexander and the over K's hit for Marquez. But Martinez did not hit, and then I took the wrong prop for Kyle Wright. He ended up giving up 5 runs. I did have 8 strikeouts, so the prop to give was the strikeouts instead of the fantasy score. Today I got 2 strikeout props, 1 fantasy score, and 1 nerfy. So let's see what we can do today. As always, you can hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out all the other links down below in the description. And if you're into sports betting, check out my Twitter because I'm in PA. So Prizepicks is not available yet in Pennsylvania. So I'm doing these videos for you guys. And because they're partners for my channel, so can't really play when it's not allowed in the state. The first prop I'm going to go ahead and give you guys is going to be the over K's on Dane Dunning. It's sitting at just 4.5 right now, and this one is one that I really like. It was at 5 when I woke up this morning earlier, and this one he has hit quite a bit this year. 69.2% of the time it is juiced to the over a bit. In his last 10 days, he's hit this, or just based on this season, he's hit this quite a bit. We can also look to last season as well. He's hit this 9 of 13 times, so 69% in his last 10. He's hit this, just missed twice, so he's been 8 and 2 in his last 10. It's been most recently that he's missed, but if you look at the matchups, it's not really that surprising because the Cleveland Indians are the least strikeout heavy team in baseball this year, and the Astros are not that far behind. Whereas all these other teams do strike out a lot more, and even he did have 5 Ks against the Astros earlier, and the Yankees and the Red Sox as well. So this one going up against a Detroit Tigers team, we can pull up their strikeout numbers. So we can see that Cleveland, like I mentioned, is far and away the least strikeout heavy team in baseball, followed by the Astros are the 4th. Whereas if we go look to the Detroit Tigers, they are 17th, so below average by a little bit, striking out 8.5 times per game. And Dunning definitely has some K upside against this lineup. We pull it up on RotoGrinders Plate IQ. We can look at the whole lineup and see which guys will strike out more and which guys you can look to really take advantage of. So on the Detroit side, he has about a 22.2% K rate this year. They called up one of their top prospects, Greens. I'm not really sure how he'll fare, but usually these prospects take at least a couple of weeks, if not months, to get acclimated to the MLB pitching. But most everybody else is above 20%, except for Castro, who's right at almost 20 at 19.4. 25% K rate for the team. Looking at the lineup, and you're getting a lot of righties, a couple of lefties in here as well, and Dunning has identical strikeout numbers against both sides of the plate. So just a good spot for Dunning to get 5 Ks. And the most common pitch that he throws is a fastball sinker. See how often these, and you see a lot of guys struggle against that pitch. Castro, Miguel Cabrera, if he's in the lineup on a Sunday. Baez is absolutely garbage, .013 ISO against that pitch, so absolutely no power, just rounding it out or whiffing at that pitch. So that's the first prop I feel very good about, is going to be Dane Dunning getting me at least 5 strikeouts. The second strikeout prop is going to be Shane Bieber at 6. This one is also pretty low for me, even though it's against the Dodgers, who are a great offense. There are still some Ks in here that we can look to, and Bieber has had success at just striking a lot of players out over the years. He just gives you elite strikeout stuff, 30% K rate from 2021 to this year so far. Looking at the lineup, bottom half of the lineup is where he's going to be looking to get most of his strikeouts, starting with Muncy, Smith. If he's in the lineup on a Sunday, we could see Barnes in there as well. See what the bench has. Sundays, sometimes they shake up their lineup, so if they have Rios in here, he strikes out a bunch, or if they have Barnes, he strikes out more than Will Smith. But ultimately, Taylor's 30%, Bellinger's almost 30%, Muncy, and then if he's able to get some Ks against the top half, it will just kind of be icing on the cake. If we look over here on props.cash, we can look at Shane Bieber's numbers. The sportsbooks have it at 6.5. The line is juiced to the under, but we're getting 6 on Prizepicks, where he's hit this 60% of the time. He should have. The game against Texas doesn't really count because he was on track to absolutely blow it out of the water. He had 6 strikeouts in 4 innings and 54 pitches, and then the rain came and he wasn't able to return. So that game, he probably could have had one of his best strikeout games of the season with 6 Ks and 54 pitches, and probably would have thrown another 40 at least. And we're seeing him throw over 100 pitches quite a bit recently. Started off the season with 72 and 79. So those games, of course, he didn't hit his over strikeouts. So we're looking at just his last 8 games. He's hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or his last 9 games because Toronto, I think he was scratched or something. He's only missed this prop once. He's looking at 8 out of 9 and a couple of pushes here. And he's even hit this against teams that don't strike out too much. But ultimately, if we're looking at last season as well, we can see that Bieber was in the mix for Cy Young last year. He just gives you elite strikeout stuff. Feel very good that he can get me at least 6 Ks, even though it's against the Dodgers. We've seen them strike out a lot at times this year. With like Zach Eflin had his highest strikeout game against them, and he struggled a lot of the times to get even 4 or 5 strikeouts. But he ended up having 12 Ks against the Dodgers. So I think there's definitely, unlike like the Astros or the Indians, there are still some opportunities to get Ks against the Dodgers. So Shane Bieber over 6 strikeouts, second prop. And then we're going to go over to a Nerfy. And this might be one of my favorite plays on the board. I don't know how long it's going to last, but give me the under runs here on the Mets and Marlins game. Under half a run in the first inning. You're getting 2 great pitchers squaring off here. If we look at just the odds of this one hitting, pull up the Nerfy. This one has the lowest total by far on the slate. We're getting Sandy Alcantara against Chris Bassett, 2 really, really good pitchers. The line on Sportsbooks right now is at minus 156. Right now it has like a 60% chance of hitting, just based on the records. But they're pitching. It's a good ballpark to pitch in. If we look at the lineups and the totals for this game, it is one of the lowest ones. Going into New York, wind blowing in a little bit. It's going to eat up some fly balls. And 3.4 total for the Marlins, 3.8 for the Mets. Just not going to overthink it too much. That is definitely the best Nerfy on the board. You're getting a great number compared to the Sportsbooks have it. And then the last prop I'm going to give you guys, I was thinking about taking Alcantara strikeouts. It's at 5.5. I don't mind it. But he's just going so deep into games that I'm going to take his fantasy score instead. It's at 35.5 right now. But if we look at just how many pitches he's been throwing recently, it's been pretty ridiculous. He threw 113 last start against the Phillies. He's gone over 100 pitches in his last 6 starts, which is pretty remarkable given how short of a leash a lot of pitchers have. But he has a 1.68 ERA. He's probably top 2 in Cy Young voting in the National League right now. And going up against the Mets in this ballpark, not too much different than pitching at home in Miami. He's done pretty good, compared to his home and road numbers. And for his fantasy, he's gotten you at least 7 innings in his last 6 starts. And during that time, he's still racking up some strikeouts. He's not giving up very many earned runs. So if he goes like 8 innings or 7 innings today, that's 21 points on Prizepicks. Add up the strikeouts as well. Give him a great chance of hitting that quality start bonus on Prizepicks. And if they are able to get the win against Chris Bass, I know they're underdogs, but that'll just be icing on the cake. And he always puts himself in a position to get the victory just because he doesn't get very many earned runs. And he's always going 6, 7, 8 innings unless the bullpen blows it, or unless they're trailing. If he gives up, if their offense isn't able to come through, he's always in the mix to get himself a victory. And even on DraftKings, he put up some monster fantasy scores just with how often he pitches. So taking the over 35.5 fantasy on Alcantara, and that is about it for my Prizepicks plays. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and best of luck, and I'll see you all next time.